So this is the thing I was talking about for the thing. This is how Shansha tends to go.
Yes. Yeah, no, this is exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
I can only read like 60% of it because of my screen, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna link that for the link dump to let everyone have a look at this particular bit of. Actually, no, fuck it. I can just link it in the Discord. It's fine. Just let people have at it. The old Shansha.
I would definitely recommend do both because it might be buried by the time the episode comes out.
That's fair. Yeah. So, any choice quotes you want to pick out, Zero? Just for funsies. Just to be clear, this whole thing is just a Shansha take on going to fucking McDonald's or something. Just like how it works.
I'm trying to. Where was the line? Meng Hao is pushed back 2 feet, knocking over a soda machine. Powerade Mountain Berry Blast geysered outward, killing several onlookers. Of course, Mayor McShee saw all this happen through the window. That particular series of events. Oh,
Killing several onlookers.
So casual.
Killed several.
Of ways to go, how would you rate death by soda machine spray?
Depends on the soda.
That's fair.
A liquid is killing you hard enough to do blunt force trauma, so not good.
I mean, theoretically, if it's Shansha Dr. Pepper, then it will probably actually heal all your wounds and make you 1,000 times stronger.
It'll make you immune to all poisons. Whipped his arm, bring forth 30 more cultivation techniques that hadn't appeared in over 400 chapters.
Burger devouring scripture. I'm loving it. Oh my god. So that was the section of us talking about a thing that you may or may not even be looking at right now, audience. So yeah,
It's good stuff. Go checking it out. It's funny.
Yeah. So hi everybody. Fandom Flux podcast is here. How's it going? I'm loving it. Anyway, yeah. So this podcast and stuff. It's like daylight savings time sucks. I just want to reiterate it. We talked about it on Enemy Reflux, but I also pointed out you're not going to know what I'm talking about for 6 months, which ironically is probably when the next daylight savings time thing is going to happen, and I'm still going to be pissed off about it. So it actually kind of works, maybe. Who knows?
But you might be only half as pissed off.
Wouldn't that be nice? Seriously, daylight savings time helps nobody. Nobody cares. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Apparently, there was some study where they did actually stop using it in I think it was late 70s or something here, but they didn't save any gas, but they're not saving any now. So So like, just don't make a big deal out of it. Don't like panic buy a bunch of gas thinking you're gonna save on it or something. If it
There
wasn't
have
such a big
been
deal,
plenty of justifications for why daylight savings time should be a thing. Memory serves, the start of it was fucking farmers who don't
yeah,
care about what time it says on the clock. They get up with the dawn, motherfuckers. There
pretty
was
much. I mean, yeah, you just go with the light, and at this point, every tractor has floodlights on it, so you can operate it at night, as I can attest from the fields nearby.
how's everybody doing? You guys good?
Pretty good.
Yeah. We have to kill chaos.
Now that I know how that story goes, I'm super depressed by it because he doesn't get to kill chaos.
I mean, he,
What?
I mean, it's
he does though.
it's Final Fantasy Origins. He's the bad. Okay.
No, but he does though. I played a lot of Final Fantasy Origin.
Yeah.
Strangers in Paradise. I beat the game.
Ah,
I think the story is actually really good. Though it is at times
Goofy.
it can be a bit hard to follow at first
Hmm.
because it does require you to have knowledge of like some of the things that happen in Final Fantasy One and like the setting and stuff. There's also like I feel like going back and going through the various text log things I unlocked, I can put together a better idea of how the story's like what all the background stuff is. But even if you don't have that, the game does tell you eventually like, okay, this is the plot, this is where we're going. And Strangers in Paradise has an interesting story. It ends on an interesting note. I'd like to see more of where that story goes. Because there's DLC, and one of the DLC is called A Different Future, and I'm very interested in that.
Oh, that could be cool. Then again, that's they really like doing that now. Apparently, to Square Enix is retconning how their classic stories go.
Well, this one, I like what it did. Um, what I don't like is I had some problems with the gameplay because I don't know what the game wants to be.
I actually know nothing about this game. What style of gameplay is it?
Okay, it's kind of like a character action game, but not really because it's also kind of like a little bit of Dark Souls.
Okay, so sort of similar to the Final Fantasy remake, or not quite
Uh,
as.
no, it is not similar. You have a break gauge,
Gauge.
which gauge. Sorry, old habit of when I was a kid and I hadn't heard the word aloud. You have the break gauge, and whenever you block an attack, that decreases. Um, and that's kind of your stamina in a sense, except not really. And there is a parry mechanic, which you can use to absorb certain attacks from bosses and send them back at them. The parry mechanic rapidly, you kind of hold a button and you hold out your hand and it glows red and you rapidly decrease your break gauge. And if that gauge breaks, if you take damage and like it breaks, you crumple and then the boss can just murder you. Which you can die really fast in this game. Um, I had a problem with some of the class. So the way it works is there's a job system and you have different jobs you go through, and the higher tier jobs have access to all of the weapon types used by the lower tier jobs that make up that advanced class. So say,
Makes
for
sense.
example, if you want to do like thief, which is like rogue and pugilist, then you get access to not just using the double knives, but also you can use fists as a thief. So that you have that access to that whole move set, and whatever fist moves you unlock from other classes can be equipped to like your specials. The issue is that you don't. A lot of enemies have attacks that will just come out instantly with like no wind up, and your parrying takes like a second to actually activate, and you end up in quite a few situations where like you can block physical damage perfectly, but the only way to block magical damage perfectly is to parry. And once you parry, your next couple, like sometimes the enemy, if they're small and like humanoid, will like go back, like stagger, and then you can attack them. Which you don't get like a visceral or riposte or whatever. It's just a normal attack. But a lot of enemies will just keep attacking after you parry that first hit. So
I'm not a
die.
fan of that.
So you die. You have like I think a split second of invincibility to roll out of the way, but that's it. And sometimes you just can't.
Is it like Sekiro where you're supposed to continually parry until they eventually are guard broken fully, or
I couldn't get that to work. I got it to work like maybe once where I was able to parry like 2 hits, but the thing is, as soon as that hand goes down, it takes another second to get it back up again. So I guess maybe there's a way to do that, but I don't know. I didn't. I had a lot of trouble with that.
that's fair.
And it's not really explained that way to me in the tutorial at all. So I don't know. The timing of attack is just weird, and a lot of the bosses are such that as soon as you get in, they'll do an attack, an AoE all around them to make you get out.
Oh,
And one boss in particular just spams the hell out of that, and it was just unfun. And then they do a jump across the arena straight to you, and if you block it, it breaks most of your gauge. And then they go straight into another attack. And so like the game feels like it wants me to do big action combat, do combo, because I need to do combo to build MP to do my big moves. But I don't get many opportunities to do combo because boss is doing their own 40 string combo.
enemies are hyper aggressive, so you have to rely on just the hyper basics. Yeah, the Elden Ring problem.
At least with Elden Ring, like I always felt like there were like a lot of good safe spots I could get into. And I felt like if I parried, then I had the opportunity to deal a lot of damage. And I also had, the weapon arts, which dealt FP, so I could just do those. Whereas your MP, every time your break guards breaks, your maximum MP goes down. So every time you crumple, you lose that max MP. The only way to get it back is to parry, or to get into phase 2 of the boss, which gives you a little bit more max MP. So you end up in a death spiral in some of these bosses. The game it's kind of jank, the game.
Getting that sense, yeah.
Some of the weapons are really, really good, and some of them just kind of suck. Because obviously you want to hit more times to get more MP. So if you equip the fists, the more you get punch without getting hit, the faster the fists go. And they're pretty good at staggering enemies, so you can just kind of go nutso combo on them and get all your MP back. But if you want to use like a great sword, against some enemies, they just don't stagger at all. So you end up in a situation where I guess I'm just gonna have a mage on at all times and just play this game like a mage. Because they also decided to do the thing of you have 5 limited heals.
Oh, it's even when it works properly, that gameplay loop doesn't sound fun. That just sounds tedious.
You can't upgrade the amount of heals that you have. You can take a white mage though, and then you can use your MP to heal, which you need to get by hitting enemies. Against basic enemies, like it's fun enough, just going through the combos and everything, attacking everything, crushing the enemies and turning them into crystals and then shattering them. But then sometimes you run into enemies that just spam tier 3 spells, just ad nauseum, like just infinitely just spamming the spell, and it's like I want to get close to this enemy, but I can't, because every time I get close they just do this, and if I try to parry the spell they just send another one. So I have to kind of fight them afar using the spells, and it feels like I'm forced into playing the game a certain way.
Sounds
Never a
to
fun
me
feeling.
like you need to get good.
I mean, I wasn't having a lot of fun with the gameplay.
That sucks.
I had a lot of fun with Elden Ring. I did not have a lot of fun with this game. Like I did, there were some times when I genuinely had like a really good time, and like that was really nice. But there were also times when I felt like I was just forcing myself to go through to finish the game because I wanted to see where the story went.
It's
That being
weird.
said,
It's weird that Square Enix seem to have forgotten how to balance games.
And I'm curious if that's because it's just a lack of care, or if it's because they keep trying new gameplay styles.
That's kind of a thing, though, isn't it? I mean, they're trying new gameplay styles, granted, but they're trying new gameplay styles that have already been done. Like, even taking like, okay, it's trying to be a little more Dark Souls. They could copy Dark Souls, or they
you
could copy a game that copied Dark Souls, which there have been plenty of, and you can see the mistakes that have been very well documented at this point for the people that have attempted it, and the ones that got it more or less right while changing the formula somewhat. There is a lot that could be said for how you can do it and how to not do it.
kind of expand on one thing. I mentioned you have 5 potions.
Mm-hmm.
The game is set in it's a mission based structure. Like it's not open world. You go to a mission and then you go through an area, and there are several like save points where you can rest, use your job level skill points to level up your job and take different abilities and everything, and refill your potions. Well, you have 5 potions. It takes a potion to revive a party member if they go down. So you have 2 party members with you. So you're a squad of 3 with 5 potions, and you never get to upgrade how many potions you have, because you need them to heal and also get up your party members when they go down. So you need a healer class. You need a white mage.
Hey, you're not supposed to fuck with those. Bad joke. Bad reference. Not really worth anything. Didn't really add anything to the conversation. I feel bad about saying it. Okay, moving on.
I was amused.
There's some cool classes in it. Tyrant, Void Knight. They have like Ninja, Breaker. Some of the classes are, I'm sure they're really enjoyable. I haven't gotten to play all of them.
Okay, the whole classes thing that Square Enix really fucking likes their fucking classes as well. Like, it's. I haven't played Final Fantasy Origins, so I can't speak to that particular iteration of this. But I have played Bravely Default. I played Final Fantasy the online one, 14. That's it for a bit. I played a few others that have had like this job class system where you can swap in and out, and it's all not great. Like, I get the idea behind it of just having the ability to play different kinds of characters, but they had that problem solved by just having more characters that had these particular classes, and thus you could use those abilities because they had those abilities. Where from what I've seen, they want to just have the classes be a skin on top of as few characters as possible. A skin of abilities, to be clear. So it feels bland and lifeless. Like, it would be really cool to see what a Void Knight character is. Like, I don't know what that means to be a Void Knight. I would be very interested to find out what a person would be like to be a Void Knight. But I won't do that because there isn't one. It's just a list of abilities that you can equip and unequip at will.
Your party members have specific classes to them, and as you go through and do extra missions, you can unlock more. But they only have like 3 or 4 classes that really fit them. But and in the case of F14, like, you can go through that entire game with just one class, and that's fine. The game doesn't expect you to level multiple classes. It's only more content if you want it. But I feel like at times I felt rather underpowered in the game because by leveling up by mastering the other jobs, there's like different stat boosts that are like overall stat boosts to your character. I think they are
Passive boosts.
That's
so
another thing I don't like about it.
so leveling up more jobs is a bit more rewarding.
More grinding, yay!
And I went through the game normally, and there were still plenty of classes I hadn't leveled up, and I was like, I don't want to grind. I don't want to grind in this game where sometimes they'll, especially in the late game, they'll just spam certain enemies that they know are hard to deal with. And when you have like 3 nightmares rushing at you with their unstoppable lightning charge, and like you manage to parry like 1 and then 2 more immediately hit you, it just feels bad. Because like you have multiple party members, but the enemies will almost always aggro onto you.
Yeah, the player has hyper priority.
And you can like hit a button to make your party members like go on the aggressive and activate their like use their MP bar. But I don't know. I think they made a mistake somewhat in how they worked the weapons and the jobs, because the jobs are different than the weapons. So you end up with the only thing a job really offers you is it will give you certain it will give you like a unique ability that you can normally use with like you're clicking the right trigger. Like, for example, Sage, which is I think the best job in the game, has the ability to switch between black magic and white magic by so you can cast both black and white magic. So you can do big spells, which the game loves it when you use big spells on enemies. It wants you to do that a lot. And it also has the best spell in the game that will just melt bosses.
Oh,
Which you get by casting 3 white spells, 3 black spells, and then you unlock the spell Ultima, which just annihilates everything.
is that per battle or just overall in the lifespan of your entire character?
every time it consumes the 3 stacks of black and white magic, and then you cast 3 more black spells, 3 more white spells, and you cast Ultima again.
Ah, gotcha.
Which you need a lot of MP for. So equip those fists and get punching, get that MP back. I know somebody who really, really enjoyed the game, and like kudos to you. I couldn't quite enjoy it to that same extent. I don't want to replay this game.
That's fair.
Well,
but yeah,
if nothing else, I look forward to Nier Automata retro up make where they have the beginning of Route C's route change because spooky ghosts or something.
No. To kind of expand a little bit further, because all I've been talking about is the gameplay, because I had this rant building up in me for a little bit. The Jack as a character is pretty great.
Wants to kill chaos.
He's just great.
He wants to kill chaos and listen to Limp Bizkit.
Multiple times the boss is monologuing and they'll say shut up and jump towards them and try to punch them.
I can respect that.
Like, he hits a very specific note of like, I'm just here for business. I am here to kill you. But also, as the game goes on, he gets more and more depth, and you begin to understand a little bit more about who he is and why he is. And there's some really interesting stuff in the story that I don't want to talk about because of spoilers. It's just
he's one step closer to the edge, and he's about to break.
I just hate the Tiamat boss fight so much. I hate it so much. It's a boss that constantly regenerates, so you have to break its gauge in order to actually kill it. But to break its gauge, you need to use your big MP using moves. And if you don't have a mage that can just spam the correct element spell against it, you're not going to have fun. And then also it keeps doing the AoE attacks around it, so then it's going to break your gauge, so you're going to lose your MP and your max MP, and you're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Oh, I hate it so much. Yeah. Sorry about that rant. I did enjoy my time with the game. I don't want to replay it. It's like a 7 out of 10. As in, like, the story is really good, but the gameplay still is pretty jank and it has some stuff to be desired.
Sad times.
Yeah. Anything else? Or is it just a lot of that?
I rocketed through that game. I tried to do a new game plus of Elden Ring, and then they immediately released a patch that was like, "Oh hey, we're finishing up these quest lines, fixing these, so you have these 4 NPCs all have finished quest lines." And I'm just like, "Huh, I killed 2 of those already."
Yeah. There's the reason I'm not playing Elden Ring right now. So I'm just giving it a month to finish doing whatever it wants to do.
I'm giving it a month.
You playing on PC?
No, I'm on PS4.
Yeah, I'm playing it on
PS4 is apparently the best version to play currently.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
I had fun with the PS5 version.
Yeah, I'm just talking in terms of stability and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I was watching my brother play the Xbox One version a little bit ago, and man, it's janky as fuck.
They nerfed a lot of the cool things.
You mean exactly the equipment I used? they nerfed the Mimic and the Blood Slash, which is what I used.
The Mimic is still strong.
It is, but it's less so.
Moonveil thing has been left alone. The cheese lives on. Fucking Keith, man. I love Keith so much.
Moonveil does less break damage. So it's not going to break bosses as easily. But everything else is fine about it. But they did nerf, like, they did get rid of the... there was one exploit people were using to just afflict themselves with an aura of death, and then they just run up to you and roll around, and then you just instant die.
So basically the Thorns technique.
Yeah. And then there was another one where people... And I really like this one. It's a shame they got rid of it, which is where you inflict yourself with the damage from one of the faith spells of Sin's Deadly Flame or whatever, and then you bring up the Great Shield, and it has a counter magical arrow, and you just machine gun with the arrow, using it to counter off the damage you're dealing to yourself.
I didn't realize that was a thing, but that sounds amazing.
I feel like that's the thing that Keith was actually using in the video. He talks about the patch.
Well, that's not a thing anymore, which is a shame.
Sad.
But it's okay. They added...
I look forward to playing the game and doing a dex build with a katana and or rapier as God intended.
That is how you're supposed to play the game. Dex is the only viable weapon type for a lot of...
I saw some crazy things people were doing with some strength weapons.
Yeah, it's not... That falls apart pretty quick when you got to fight a boss.
There's an Ash of War called Royal Knight's Resolve, which increases your next attack by 80%.
Yeah.
And people were taking 2 giant hammers and applying Royal Knight's Resolve to both of them, and then doing a jump attack.
That makes sense.
Which just melts everything.
White.
What was that?
Is that the one where you hold up your weapon and it glows white?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
I've seen that. Royal Knights, yeah. It's they patched it. It used to apply to weapon skills as well. Or anything else you had equipped.
Yeah.
So you could have 2 katanas, Royal Knight's Resolve on the left katana, and then have Moonveil as your right katana, and then just destroy things.
Yeah. Well, how I played through most of the early game was I cold infused my katana, and the blood buildup pop is affected by the frostbite. So they stack, and it murders things.
Cold katanas are good, because applying both cold and bleed. They got rid of that durability system, and katanas suddenly became really powerful. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like durability systems suck.
Yeah. They also buffed a bunch of spells for sorcery builds.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Mage was straight up hard mode in this game, which is surprising, but that's what happens when you make all of your enemies read your inputs. So there you go.
You sound like you got some complaints.
I'm not a fan of the input reading, the blatant input reading on enemies. Every enemy. I think Plague of Gripes said it the best, where every enemy has a fuck you attack. Not just that the boss is aggressive. It's specifically for you, because it knows your spacing and will swing at the exact spacing that, like, oh, you rolled backwards? I'm going to clip you with this one last attack that comes out super fast. I hate it. In previous Souls games, there's always been a rhythm to combat. It's like, it's your turn, it's my turn, it's your turn, it's your turn again for that surprise combo. That kind of thing. I can't figure out the rhythm for Elden Ring.
One thing that really helped me kind of figure out a lot of these bosses was just going on co-op for a bit, and then I began to actually figure out that rhythm, and it really helped. Just doing the co-op thing and having to tank a lot of these bosses for newbies.
I mean, I just hold up a shield. I hold up the Great Shield with the Great Shield Talisman and just tank damage.
Do you use a barricade shield or Ash of War?
If I need it. Although the fact that it only lasts like 5 seconds kind of diminishes that. By the time I think to use it, it's already a little too late.
It's good for certain attacks that you know would otherwise like break you.
Millennia's blender attack is the
Yeah,
fuck, what's her name? The one with the rot.
yeah, Melania.
Yeah, she just turns into a blender for like 15 straight seconds, and yeah, that'll break through your guard no matter what. So barricade shield is definitely a must for that. If you want to block.
Yeah, I used Bloodhound Step and just was able to get away.
Yeah, that does seem the key to kind of breaking the spacing problem. Is like enemies they're not programmed to deal with that.
Having like that's why I have like one katana for like Moonveil as like I attack one, and then I have another katana that just has Bloodhound Step, so I can switch between them to get both the benefits of both.
That's fair.
New Game Plus, I picked up a second Moonveil. Now I have 2 Moonveils.
I miss bonfire aesthetics. I miss the ability to farm 2 or more of an item if you just kind of want to make an area harder. But
That
I
would be
understand
nice.
yeah. There's
Not
nice
a lot of
to.
defined areas though in this game is unfortunately the
Yeah,
thing.
you'd probably make an entire section of the map harder because I think that's kind of how they judge that seems to be how the co-op works is you put down your sign and you can be summoned anywhere in the continent you're in.
Yeah.
Are you pining over a mechanic from Dark Souls 2?
Yeah.
You're weird,
It wasn't it was a fun game. I've always liked Dark Souls 2. It had a lot of problems. I will freely admit that, but it did bring some fun stuff to the series.
I'm only judging you slightly.
All right, like the fact that every enemy can drop their gear. That was 2. They didn't do that in 1.
I like running around in like the Dragon Knight outfit with Melania's helmet.
Yeah. The Souls has never been stronger, or the Fashion Souls rather.
Yeah, there's some good fashion. Anyway, that's kind of it for my week, as far as I can remember at the moment.
That is fair.
How's it going, Slicer?
Pretty good. I've been playing. As I just mentioned, I played and beat Elden Ring. After my first playthrough, they pretty much immediately implemented 1.03 and nerfed the exact stuff I was using. So, I'll just give that a minute to calm down.
What were you using?
The long katana with a cold infusion. Or rather, blood slash with cold, I think.
Bloody slash.
That just sounds like a really good excuse to start over, to be honest.
They just buffed Arcane. They fixed the bug. Now Arcane is really good. So if you want to go for like the blood katana and do like Rivers of Blood, you can do that.
Yeah, that's going to be the new weapon that everyone uses. If you want a katana, you go Rivers of Blood because it's just insane. The weapon art just breaks things. It's fun.
I look forward to playing the game when you know the routine.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I already did beat the game, and I was going to go back and play actually as a mage now that I know the game better. Because, like I said, mage is hard mode.
You are the guy that did the full intelligence build on Dark Souls, recorded it and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Go grab that meteorite staff and rock sling.
Yeah, that'll pretty much carry you through the early game. That's for sure. But the reason I say magic using is hard mode is because enemies are hyper aggressive against magic or any kind of ranged attacks. Really, you can shoot them with a crossbow and distract the boss. But like you'll be fighting with 2 allies and you'll fling a single spell at a boss and they'll ignore the melee people wailing on them to go after the mage. It's crazy.
Make sure your spell counts.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fairness,
You
tactically, that
roll.
makes sense.
It to an extent. I feel like the aggro is a little too strong, a little too blatant.
Well, think about it tactically. Like if someone is shooting you and you don't do anything about it, they can continue shooting you with impunity.
Yeah,
You can at least block the people that are close up.
yeah. But so yeah, when you're playing by yourself, it's rough.
Always. This is a game that I think the thing that I've noticed is, and this was talked about where like a lot of Japanese players do tend to play Dark Souls cooperatively using the Ash summons. Sometimes it's kind of just it just helps a lot.
Oh, it's a must. I
Yeah,
start with imp summons because I actually really like the imps. They're pretty great.
they really help with lead builds.
Oh yeah, yeah. Since they do bleed damage too, it's a constant pop.
Does the
Um,
game have like a covenant system? I don't actually know.
No,
no,
yeah, there are no more covenant groups or anything. I'm kind of sad about that.
I am too.
uh,
Because my next question was going to be: is there like a covenant of heroes from what was it Company of something of heroes from Dark Souls 2? Yes, okay. I immediately show my hypocrisy by saying something nice about Dark Souls 2, but fucking, I really
Yeah,
like that mechanic of hey, you don't get to summon anymore. That
it's
was a
a,
cool thing.
I think it was a company of champions. I think
That
it
was
was
it.
something
Yeah,
champion.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, there's no like hardcore mode basically. I mean, just the game itself.
I mean,
they
yeah,
have
but
a lot of
that's
optional bosses that are meant to be kind of like super bosses.
Well, yeah, Millennia, you beat her and you turn the game into Bloodborne, so that's fun. Her Great Rune makes it so you regenerate health when you take damage and then immediately attack something.
Yeah, decreases your the amount that you heal from your flask as a demerit because you're expected to attack and be super aggressive.
Oh, that's stupid. I hate that. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
It's
I don't like that great rune very much.
it's a Great Rune. Why would it have a negative? That's the whole point.
Yeah, and it feels like
I mean, if you want to scrub, then it doesn't like it doesn't have a negative.
It's true. If I stay 1,000 feet away and shoot someone with meteors, it won't really matter.
I like the fact that I'm just kind of here shit stirring.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great.
the Ashes of War though are super cool because every one of them has a different use. It feels like, especially
Yeah.
the big hero ones, because like Black Knife Tish really is an amazing assassin, good against like single bosses. Then you have like Lutel the Headless, who's a fantastic tank with a range attack. You know, stuff like that.
Oh, you mean Spirit Ashes? Okay.
Yeah, your Spirit Ashes.
You said Ashes of War. I was really confused for a
Oh,
second.
sorry, my bad. There's so much ash.
It's true.
The Ashes of War as well are just fantastic with how you can really customize what type of weapon you want to have.
PvP has never felt more tertiary. PvP is just spamming weapon arts at each other, and it's hilarious.
Getting somebody with that one buffed Moonveil slash and they just instantly die.
A lot of that. The that first sword you get, the first bleed sword you fight, the Blood Knight in the
Your
Gaul,
yeah, jail. It's a jail. It's never
yeah,
jail.
yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna call it Everjail. It's easier that way. But that first one you get, you like do this flipping backflip slash, and then you lunge forward, and yeah, that does a lot of damage.
Yeah, Bloodhound's Fang.
So it can definitely carry you through a lot of early fights where people don't really know what they're doing. That's what my brother chose to use. It's pretty deadly.
If you're playing in a sorcery build, a Duelist Moonblade is fantastic. It's a giant frost great sword that shoots an entire like blade of frost.
Huh. Yeah, it's so weird the combination of different things. Like you don't expect mages to use great swords, except for maybe the Moonlight Greatsword. But
Yeah, it's a spell, and it's fantastic because if you a lot of people try to roll away from it, and then it just catches them in the frost wave that comes afterwards.
yeah, there's a lot of the game is generous with stats. Like it expects you to be. I think I finished the game at like level 180 or something. I don't know. I was really high.
That's higher than me.
I
was
went
like
out of my way to do a
150-ish.
lot of co-op, so I farmed a lot.
I did a lot of co-op as well. I wish I did more though, because now I got to go back through a new game plus and unlock summoning signs again, so I can do co-op. I want to go fight Radon again.
That was a fun fight, honestly.
I did so much co-op on Radon.
I didn't even really have a choice. Anytime you put your sign down in Caelid, and you're the right level, it'll suck you into that fight.
Either that one or the one with the 3 putrid Crystallians, and that was awful.
Yeah, God. As a katana user, that's rough.
I had to switch. So for anybody who's lost in this conversation, there's this boss in one of those micro dungeons in Elden Ring that sees 3 crystal guys. One dude's a spellcaster, one dude uses a spear, and the other uses ring blades and has like projectiles. And they don't stagger until you kind of break through their poise and cause them to like crumple the first time. And if you are trying to use any bladed weapon, screw you.
Yeah, they have like 98% slash resistance until you break through that armor.
Yeah, so since I was a Dex Int build, I had access to a boss weapon that was a mace called Bastard Stars. That is a strength Int mace, and that's what I use.
Yeah, it pays to have like a flail on hand that you've just casually upgraded. Just something blunt.
Flail or mace or something.
But yeah, so I played a lot of Elden Ring, as obviously. I also played Forbidden West. I didn't get super far into it until Elden Ring came out, but
I forgot that game came out.
Yeah, a lot of people did. That's that's the Forbidden West subreddit is very salty, and I'm here for it.
Why do you have to launch at these times?
So,
I mean, they still sold great at like when they launched at the same time as Breath of the Wild, but still.
Yeah.
What was that?
Horizon as a series, their first game launched right next to Breath of the Wild, and they got overshadowed in all of the media. And their second game launched right next to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I can understand the salt of some developers that may have said some ill-advised things on Twitter, but it's never really a good look to be like, yeah, this super popular thing sure isn't as good as the thing that I did.
And it's bad because of these reasons, but it's actually reasons players like.
So is the game good?
Forbidden West?
Yeah.
It's got some jank that makes it really frustrating. Like the auto aim will actually fuck you. Or the auto tracking for your arrows. But it's fun to play. I'm enjoying the story. The setting is just as interesting as the first game.
Robot dinosaurs.
Yeah. Robot dinosaurs that are made for a reason.
Yeah, it's really hard to like miss with Mechagodzilla. That's like, like holy shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first Horizon game
I
quite a
enjoyed
bit,
what I played of it until it crashed, and I would have to sit through like 30 hours of cutscene conversations. Not 30 hours, 30 minutes of cutscene conversations to get back to where I was.
and I think it says something though that when the DLC came out, I just had no interest
Hmm.
That's fair.
because it was fun. I wasn't anything I was crazy about though.
Yeah, it seems to be a consensus about the whole thing. Like there are a few people that really care about it. Most people are like, yeah, it was fine. It was a good game. Yeah.
The towers were like on the backs of the big robots that you had to go climb.
Mm.
Still a thing in this game. Yeah.
They why?
The long necks, it's a thing again. You have to climb those. Granted, there's only like 5 of them, and they're pretty easy, but they're there.
Okay.
Shaking my fist at the sky. Ubisoft.
It's very Ubisoft. Yeah.
I feel like if you have a quote unquote tower system, it should serve a purpose.
That's an
I mean, it
Ubisoft
reveals the
thing that
entire
even
map. So,
Ubisoft stopped doing.
Um, like for example, like I feel like if you're playing like Spider-Man Miles Morales, I shouldn't need to unlock the map. I
it's
shouldn't
true.
need
You've
to.
been operating in the city for who knows how long. So, yeah, it's
If
a
I'm
little
playing a
silly.
Spider-Man game where it takes me like 10 minutes to go unlock all these towers anyways, I don't need that. It's New York. I,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
need to unlock a map of New York.
it was it was a contrivance in the first one because it was supposed to be like, hey, we have this like crime tracking thing in the city, and it's broken down because of course it fucking has. So go fix it. Okay, cool. And it puts all the crimes on your map, and it puts all the backpacks and shit on your map. Okay, cool. It's really hard to contrive doing that twice.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
after the first time, we get it.
there's a definite benefit to segmenting off your map. It doesn't overwhelm the player, and they're able to better engage with the things that are there. Um, Breath of the Wild does it, and each of those towers can be a challenge to get to, but they unlock a very nice high fast tower point that allows you to see various shrines and things around you. So
I mean, at the
that
same time, though, like Spider-Man games don't overwhelm you because they unlock all of the things you can do in the city over time. Like the first game was
yeah
like, okay, here are the backpacks. Cool, you know where they are, and you know what, they're on the map now. Cool.
yeah
Crimes, you can do crimes now. The laboratories for Oscorp, you can do those now. The
yeah they
what was it?
do they
Taskmaster
roll out
challenges. Yeah, they
they
roll them
roll
out over
out the
time as you're
additional.
going through the game,
Yeah, so I'm
so it
not
doesn't
sure.
overwhelm you. So there's no point in doing the whole map
Yeah,
unlocking
so
thing.
the towers there aren't actually necessary is the thing. Because if you just have the full map and you're like, okay, well now here's because anybody when they first play the game is like, oh, I'll go take 10 minutes to swing around town and go and unlock the things.
Even at like full unlock, if you hadn't done anything on the map and it was all just still there, that was still fine. It wasn't like an Ubisoft thing where there's thousands of markers on the map. It was still just like there's like
Yeah,
maybe 10 on every region, and that's about it. And the crimes were like fucking radiant. They just appeared when you happened to be in the area, so it was fine. It was pretty clean. There was no reason for it in that game.
so
so
I will
yeah,
defend Forbidden West here in that you're in an area where your tribe and anyone you know has never been before.
mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're revealing the map in general is, it makes sense. You're exploring, but
Yeah,
yeah, It's still an Ubisoft thing, but when you activate the map, you can reveal the map by just walking around. You could do it both ways, but activating the long neck activates all, or like makes you aware of all the events that you can do, or the hunting spots, or things like that. So you just get the most information possible by doing the long neck. You can do it all manually by hand.
Are you overwhelmed by the icons of all the different hunting spots and everything?
I mean, only if you zoom way out. Like even just like a regular, the standard zoom in amount you're going to be using, it's fine. Things are spaced out quite far.
Okay. I remember I didn't quite like the map of Zero Dawn.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get especially far into the game, so I can't really say much broadly about it in terms of longer gameplay, like past the tutorial, because that's where it crashed. Like, hey, you go on that trip and everything goes to shit, and then you're under the mountain and lady is talking to you for 20 minutes, and then the game crashed, and I would have to sit through that again. So I was like, I have better things to do. Thanks. Like, I I might come back to this, and I never did. So, nice use of
They
my
add anything?
£30.
They add anything new to the bow and arrow combat?
Let's see. You have a regular bow, a warrior's bow, which is basically a short bow, which fires very quick. They have slings. They have quite a few different kinds of weapons. I think they have like 6. So you can take your pick. They have like 6 skill trees, all of which have a kind of a weapon associated with it, or stealth, melee fighting, health gathering, things like that. So there's a lot to do on character progression, which is nice. And it kind of feeds into the fact that every quest line will just give you skill points. That's the standard reward is some money and some skill points. So like leveling up isn't your only method to get more powerful, which is nice.
I know they were big on crafting in the original. That's still a thing?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You have to craft all of your ammo and consumables and stuff. You can buy them as well, but like you will run out of money super fast if you do that. Thankfully, there's quite a number of perks to increase. Like, if I harvest this tree, am I going to get 5 pieces of wood or 50 pieces of wood? It's not that extreme, but there are things to enhance, and shortcut your gathering experience. There are much less. I don't think there were as many weapons in the second game. There's just so you can actually afford to buy a bow and then upgrade it and then hang on to that bow for quite a while. It's not like I'm going to find a bow that's better in the next area. So that's kind of a mixed bag, as you're going to be hanging onto the same weapons for a while, unless you rapidly cut through the game, like you just walk west and don't stop until you hit water, and then go to whatever town is nearby and buy whatever bows they have, which may or may not be what I did eventually. But the downside of that is you generally can't upgrade it, because every upgrade requires very specific machine parts, and you're probably not going to have those. But let's see. So I enjoyed Forbidden West. I look forward to going back to it. What I'm actually currently distracted with, Diablo 2 Resurrected is about to get a pretty hefty patch that rebalances a lot of the game, and makes one of the... It's called the Fist of the Heavens Paladin, and you use the spell that basically calls down Holy Lightning. And currently, it only does damage to one of the 3 enemy types in the game. So it's really not very viable. They're going to increase it so it does damage to 2/3 of the enemies in the game, which is enough, considering the third enemy type isn't very common at all. So I'm basically just making myself a paladin up to that, the level where that build is a thing.
Nice.
So just been casually playing a lot of Diablo 2, waiting for my... I'm moving on Friday, up to Minnesota. So
Ooh. How far away is that from you currently?
4.5 hours.
Okay.
I'm in super eastern Iowa, so I was gonna move on Tuesday, today actually, and then the weather happened, and then I was gonna move on Wednesday, and then the weather happened, and then Thursday, and then the weather happened. So I don't want to try and move in freezing rain or blizzards or extreme windstorms.
That sounds fair. Is it just you or is it the whole family?
It's just me.
Ah, cool.
So at least there's that. It's pretty easy to just get my own shit together and stuff it in my car. I have a lot less stuff than I thought I did, which is normally the opposite experience of someone moving. But yeah, that's I believe that's me. I don't really think I've done anything else interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Casey doesn't do any interesting things anymore.
Understandable.
Not a single thing?
I finished watching Legend of Vox Machina. That was pretty cool, I guess.
I still need to see that.
Me too.
It's pretty good. A lot of references. Some of them are shoehorned, some of them are not.
I fully expected that, honestly.
It became very hard for me to watch D&D related stuff when I'm DMing 2 games and playing in a third. I get so much D&D, I'm just like, you know what? This just makes me want to go back to the things I'm doing.
You are perhaps overloaded, also.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't want to go watch your D&D show. I'm sorry. I have my own D&D show. It's every Saturday.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, right. That actually does remind me. I was kind of burnt out on D&D. Like, not enough to not play it, obviously. But so now with my enhanced amount of free time, I decided to try X-Wing, the Star Wars miniature combat game. It's actually a lot of fun. I fully recommend it if you have some free time and the ability to do so. Check out your local game shop and try it.
Cool.
X-Wing. Oh, interesting. I'm looking it up right now.
They just have little ships. You can pick your ship, pick your pilot, pick the add-ons you add onto your ship with your loadout points. So it's kind of got aspects of deck building to it.
Yum. So
I was able.
So I said my one thing for things that I did, and now I'm spent.
Did you? How's the writing going?
It's fine. Off next week, so that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you give yourself breaks instead of just like, nope, I'm gonna write some more. Gonna keep writing.
Yeah. I feel like it's appropriate to make a tired old man joke. Like I spent my shot and now it's time for me to roll over and fall asleep.
Old man writes at cloud.
Disappointed in myself and barely satisfied.
Well, that's
yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I'll hopefully have something cool by next week. One can hope. I have 2 commissions in the Patreon chapter, and then I'm done for another thing. Oh, and I just found out that everything is now more expensive. Yay.
Yay!
Yeah. It's always fun when you get a letter in the post saying your electric and gas are going up by £20 a month each.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yes. Hmm.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I don't know, have the effects of Brexit kind of run their course and are in place now, or are they still unfolding?
I have no idea because I am not paying attention to anything anymore if I can help it.
Yeah, that's fair. Can't
Because
blame
there's literally nothing I can do. Like, I think, was it Malix that posted the video of things? Yeah. Oh. No, it was Henry. That's weird. But yeah, Henry posted a video of why British people are kind of miserable. Yeah, that's the thing. Everything's more expensive, and it's all for paying off all the problems that happened in the pandemic. Except no, it's not, and the bullshitting and.
Yeah, we get a lot of that here with gas prices. There's no reason for gas prices to go up. There isn't, but they are because corporate greed. So that was a downer place to take it, but there we are. So,
It's what I'm here for.
uh,
2 episodes in a
anyone got
row.
any? Hell yeah.
What month is it? March? Have we done the thing for March?
Yeah, we did it. We're 3 weeks in. Pretty sure we did.
That's not a guarantee, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
just
we
in
did it.
case-
We did it back March 6th.
Just in case. Hey, if you donate on Patreon, thank you for supporting the shit show that is. I'm gonna stop.
You're
being at the
losing
anime.
steam. You're losing
I'm
steam
gonna put
too
up
much.
the anime reflux stuff starting this week, just so people have something halfway worthwhile to listen to, or at least I can pretend I still contribute something worthwhile.
You also do all the editing. Like, you do most of the work. It's fine.
Okay, so I guess that's a podcast for better or worse.
Why are you so glum, chum?
It's warm. It's already fucking warm. It's not even April.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 70 here. It's crazy.
I got some people who are complaining that it's cold in another chat.
Yeah,
It seems
the one good thing about my heating bill going up is it doesn't matter because it's about to be summer, so I don't spend anything anyway. So that's a plus.
That's fair. You know what is exciting? I'm going to make myself some food in a second. It's going to be great.
What are you gonna make?
Corn dogs. Love corn dogs.
You know, it's weird.
Breaded hot dog. Honestly.
I have it in my head that should not be like a high like investment food stuff, like in terms of time. But I think about it and like, yeah, you've got to like hot dog and you got to bread it and stuff and you got to fry and stuff. Actually,
Yeah.
takes a little.
I mean, I got a toaster oven, so I make it in those. So that takes 25 minutes as opposed to 2.5 in the microwave. But they come out crunchy and they're really good.
I need to do grocery shopping.
Couldn't hurt.
I'm getting hungry now.
I need to do grocery shopping. I need to get something for Mother's Day. I need to refill my utilities. I need to all the things and the writing and the oh god, I'm glad it's a week off next week.
Wait, when's Mother's Day?
I think you have it at a different time of year to me.
We have it in May.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. So I thought I was really bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's me in 2 months when I panic and like, wait, Mother's Day is it? Oh wait, it's just for the fucking Yanks. It's fine.
All right. So we ended this shit or what?
Apparently, we're bookending this on fucking both of our countries doing things at disjointed times to confuse everyone for no reason. So
Yeah, who'd have thought?
yeah, go figure. Works out. Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description. Feel free to look at that fucking stupid Shansha thing. It's fucking, it's good.
It's really funny.
3,000 chapters. I would read 3,000 chapters of going to McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't. But come on.
It's like a Shansha version of those weird people that chase the McRib across the country.
Oh fuck, that's so good.
A Jansha retelling of the Pickle Rick in the McDonald's.
Journey to the West, but it's just for the McRib.
Meng Hao had the gentle air of a scholar, but wouldn't stop him from killing several people in a McDonald's.
I would genuinely enjoy a product that was just a retelling of that with people looking for those rib. That's so good. Oh man.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Saved it.